Check one, two, check one, two. Welcome, everybody, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior. Today is more Fallout 4, of course. But, plan is we are going to build a factory today. And I got the perfect spot picked out. Hope everyone is doing okay. I see Ted, Haster, Strudel, Pearson, Mila, Ontario, Wilder. Thank you all for joining me on a Saturday evening. All right. So as you can see, we are across from our main base. And I wanted to start here just so that you guys could get a sense for where this new place is. But first of all, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Everybody holding up well? I hope so. All right, so we are going to head back toward the city. I better make sure we're prepared. You never know. Strudel's doing fine. It's good. All right. So, what I wanted to do was build a factory, and you guys in the last episode saw my test factory. But the fact is that I just don't have enough room to do what I want to do in the tower. So we're going to build a separate factory, and I started looking around for a good place. Right here, we're looking at the back of the hardware store. So we are not far at all from Diamond City. If you come around the corner here, and just down the way, we're going to find it. So right in this area is a playground and a basketball court that obviously at some point was a staging area for the military to provide food and supplies to citizens. Right next door to it is this building right here. And this is where I built the factory, or where we will build it. So, first of all, let's get in there. And there's a lot of different reasons why I like this. All right, we are going to go down underground until this thing passes. Wow. Happy birthday, Pearson. Mila, good luck with the allergies. I feel your pain. So this is not Wicked Shipping, no. That is in another area. So, first of all, before we'll go out and look at the other part out there when we've got some daylight, when the storm has passed. But it's kind of a small to medium-sized warehouse. It's very secure. It has a couple access doors, both of which are either blocked or controlled. So you have to go through, you have to climb up on the roof to get in, which is great. And then it's got this underground bunker, which I think is really nice. And in addition, it's got a fusion generator down here, which is going to play into our role play and the way that we construct. We've also got an access tunnel here, and if my memory serves, I haven't gone all the way here, but I think it ends up in like Mass Pike Freeway, perhaps, in the freeway tunnel. A storage room down here, and this hole blasted through the wall gives us access to this, which was blocked by a terminal. Now, what's cool about this space is there's two security doors, right? This door continues on. The tunnel continues on, and I think this is the one that goes to the Mass Pike Tunnel. So it's secured by this terminal here, which means we can keep it locked. We can keep it secure. No one's getting in or out of there. And there's two dilapidated or dysfunctional fusion generators here, which can also play into role play in the future as Billy learns how to work with these generators, maybe repurposing these in other areas. It comes with a chemistry station already. A lot of storage and junk down here. We got this guy here. Power armor stand, which could certainly be handy. So I like the fact that there's this whole underground bunker, which can keep us safe from a lot of different things, and it's a good place to store supplies and loot. But a huge benefit of building a factory upstairs is the fact that we've got a fusion generator down here which works. Let's go see if that storm is over. Okay, the storm is over, so let's rest. I put a mattress in here just so I could get a little bit of sleep here if I needed to, so that we could work mostly during the daytime. Now, lots of other perks here, right? This access door, you can actually bar this. Very nice. You can lock it. We've got a warehouse door that's automated, which is also a really nice bonus. Okay. We've also got a Protectron here that we could use in some capacity if we wanted to. I haven't enabled it, but I have access to the terminal here, and we can configure that Protectron in a whole bunch of different ways. Not to mention the fact that on the loading dock was a set of T60 power armor, which I immediately brought inside, and we're going to hang on to this. I've got some plans for this armor that's going to be specific to the factory. So all I've done so far is I slightly modified the spot so that we wouldn't have to do that together. So What I did is I set up a camp in here using Conquest, all right, and put in new flooring in the space. I put in a new roof so that it wouldn't be quite so leaky. I boarded up the windows across the top, and I put in a door in the opening up there. There were also some storage containers here on the floor which were in the way, and I wasn't able to scrap them, so I disabled them. And here's an interesting thing I discovered. You know how in the Tower Fortress there are times when, you know, I've complained about it many times, where the scenery and the textures seem to flicker in and out? I figured out what causes that. That is actually caused when you disable and remove something from the environment. When you pass through the space where that object used to be, the textures go away. So there was a storage container here. If I go forward, I am in the space that was previously occupied by that storage container, and that's where we get this shit going on. If I back out, we're fine. If I move over here, nothing. If I move back to the storage container, right? So once I pass through the storage container, that effect goes away. Now, next to the stairs, there was another storage container that I was not able to scrap, and I had to delete it. So if you hit just the right spot, you'll get it again. But it was a smaller container. See there, the armor disappeared. We are in the space that was previously occupied by that storage container, and you've got all kinds of weird shit happening. However, if we move over here, everything comes back, right? So that's what's going on there. So hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. I got a call coming in. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. When I see calls come in from loved ones and stuff in these times, I take those calls without hesitation. So anyway, so we were going over this place. Basically, all I've done at this point is I put in a new floor. I removed the items. I discovered what the texture bug was all about, which was really interesting. So now I know. In the places where we're having that problem in the tower base are exactly the places where I had to remove objects that could not be scrapped. So now I am aware of that. And that issue will not be so much of a problem in here. Once we lay out all the machinery in this factory space, the machinery is going to be occupying the spaces where those containers were at one time. But this is something that in the future will factor into my decision making when I decide what objects to disable and which ones not to. So very good information to have, especially when you're using a tool like Conquest, right, where you can basically build anywhere. That's super important. Okay, the other thing that I did is you will notice right here, this is our power coming in. So my mic is not muted. I am hearing my voice. Can you guys hear my voice? Give me some confirmation, because you should be able to hear my voice and some background music and game sound. Okay, it was Mila. Okay, cool. So we've got a fusion generator that's supposedly in the basement below this. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to simulate the idea that we're using the fusion generator to power this place. Billy is not able to build a fusion generator. He is not able to repair a fusion generator. However, he should be smart enough, given all of his experience, to use an existing fusion generator. So what I did is I went into God mode. I built a fusion generator here. I wired it up, and then I glitched it through the wall behind this door. So if you put your ear to the door, you can hear the fusion generator running on the other side. So I used the wire glitch to give us one contact point here. So we're going to be running all the power in the factory starting at this point, and this is connected to the fusion generator, which is glitched through the wall behind that door. Okay? Cool. All right. So that puts us in a really fantastic position. So let's go ahead and get started. The factory that we're going to build here is going to be a little bit bigger than the one that we have constructed at the tower. If you remember, the test factory at the tower can produce ammunition and can produce Molotov cocktails. We are going to be producing explosives and ammunition, but we're also going to be adding a third piece of equipment that will take objects and break them down into their component ingredients. All right? So this is going to be a factory that builds things, but it's also going to be a factory for processing junk of all sorts and breaking it down into its parts so that we can more easily build with it. So basically all the junk that Billy collects from this point on will eventually be dumped in here and processed through this factory in some way. All right. And that, despite how big this area looks, that is about the maximum amount of gear that I think I'm going to be able to fit in here. It's going to be too tight otherwise. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into workshop mode and we're going to clear some more space. Then I'm going to install some lighting quick so that we can build into the night and you guys will be able to see everything. So first thing, all of this stuff has to go here. So we're going to need all of this floor space. I gotta be super careful when deleting these tiny objects that I don't accidentally delete walls that I want to keep. Okay, so that area is clear. We're going to take this workshop, and it is going to go... We're going to tuck it away up here for now. I don't know, it might stay there. Just depends on how the layout works out. I think these boards here and stuff are going to go away eventually too, but I'll leave them there for now just so that we have easy access to stuff. All right. Okay, so let's run some lighting. Let us put up some lighting quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by putting a conduit right up here. This connector is going to go right there. Okay. And let me think here. I'm going to put in a switch here. Will be for controlling lights. All right, we'll connect those together. Now what I want to do is I'm going to use the wire glitch to get our wire to pass through this floor and up to that connector there. All right. And I want it to go from the switch box up there, so we could conceivably control the lights from down here. So I'm going to highlight the wire. I'm going to move past the wire until my reticle is on the connector. And I'm going to hit the connect button, the wire button, so that I can hear the crackling. Okay. Now I'm going to run up here, select that, connect it. You can see it goes through the floor now, and that'll actually work. All right. So now we can put in a little bit of lighting. This lighting here doesn't necessarily have to be connected. It doesn't have to be connected by an actual wire. It will just work. That's radiant light, so it's... I think if I put one here, it'd probably work too. I don't think I need more than a couple lights, though. I think that would be overkill. This one may be too far away. Oh, yeah, that works. Okay, that should be enough light for us to work at night. Okay. So we got our lighting. Now, this area here is where we are going to dump all of the junk. We're going to have containers out here, and we're going to use the vacuum extractor, or whatever that tool is called, to actually pull items through the wall. Because I need space on the inside. So I'm super jazzed to create this. All right, so let's try to line that up. Oh, perfect. It snapped. All right. So let's try to make it look like it fits in. So So we need a door that's like the corrugated metal door. Okay. Could I use a warehouse roof here? I wonder. I like the sloping roof. Let's see if we can get this to snap on here or not. I don't know if it'll actually work. But I feel like it's going to fit more aesthetically with the stuff that's already here. Is it up to the wall? Yeah. Okay, that works. So then we need a little chunk of wall to cover this gap. Boom. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to need some containers. And I like using these. So now technically I only need one container here. I'm using 3 because it feels like, you know, with the amount of junk we're going to be processing through here, you couldn't possibly put it all in one container. So all of that gear is going to, that junk is going to be in one of these containers. It doesn't matter which one, they're all going to be close enough to the extractor that that stuff will get pulled right in there. Okay, and we are going to secure this with a steel door. All right, that part is done. What makes them high-tech is that they are round. Round is high-tech, my friends. Round. All right. Let's start positioning our machinery. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up with the machinery layout. Once the machinery layout is done, then we're going to put in a support structure because it's going to be a multi-floor kind of a thing. And then once the support structure is in, we'll run all the wiring. After wiring, we'll program it, and then we'll do a test run. That'll be the plan. So first we need our extractor. Workshop takes a while. I'm using a mod here called Manufacturing. I think it's Manufacturing Extended, which just gives me a few more options on the manufacturing side. Okay, so what we want is right here. This is the vacuum hopper. There you go. Okay. And basically what the vacuum hopper does is it will just suck all of the inventory out of an adjacent container. And it's kind of what gets the ball rolling, I guess. So we're going to put that thing right up against the wall. And I'm probably going to end up having to move it later. But we'll reposition things as we go. Okay. So we want to use a recycler. So what this is going to do is take all the incoming junk and break it down into its component parts. So, for example, it will, suck in the telephone and it'll break the telephone down into its parts, which is like plastic and copper, right? It separates all of those things out. So when I say processing junk, that's what I'm talking about. Should snap right on there. Okay. Now we need to make a turn. Okay. Now, once we do this turn, now we need to sort. So there's 2 sorters we can choose from. Sort incoming objects when powered based on its current inventory. Sorts incoming objects by components they contain. Sorts incoming objects. Okay, so our recycler is going to be breaking these things down into their component parts already. So all we really need to do, I think, is sort objects. Okay, I can see I'm going to have to move everything over a little bit already. So let's move that. Okay, so the vacuum hopper is going to come towards us a little bit. So I'm going to put a piece of machinery next to the stairway here. I don't want it to clip the stairway. So it'll take us a second here just to reposition everything and then see how it's all lining up. Okay, that might be too much, but we'll see. We're going to put let's put our ammunition plant down here. Okay. So we kind of see where this goes now. I need to give myself as much room as possible, so we're going to select this. We're going to make it hug the stairway so it's just bumping up against the rail. And then we'll reposition everything else based on that. Because this is an area we're going to have to pass through here to get upstairs. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think that is pretty good. So now, this we're going to store. Conveyor workshop storage. I don't want to do workshop storage. I'm going to store everything in conveyor storage. Workshop storage would put everything in the workshop. However, it seems to be buggy with settlements that are built using Conquest, so I'm not gonna do that. I had some problems when I was building my test setup, so all right, so yeah, most of what I'm doing here is from the DLC, the Contraption DLC. Like I said, I am using a mod called Manufacturing Extended, which gives me a few more options. Okay, so far, we have our recycler working, and our recycler is positioned, and our ammo plant is positioned. Now, in order to do explosives, we're going to have to come up a level. So I think I'm going to get rid of these items here. Pretty sure. First of all, let's save here. All right. Now, since this is the area that's going to be processing all of our junk, this is also where all of our raw ingredients are going to be, which means it probably makes a lot of sense that we would set this area up so that we could do a lot of crafting here as well. So I'm going to try to leave enough space. Can't reach it. All right. Whoops. We don't want TFC. We want TCL. Okay, we'll zip across here. So now why can't I select this? I can't get rid of this chunk of floor, even though I could delete all the other ones. I could scrap them. This one I can't scrap. So I think we're stuck with that. We're going to build around it. Okay. So, now we need a conveyor lift. Because we're going to go up a level. But I don't think I want to double back. I think that, perhaps. All right. So then, how's this going to work exactly? So I come up a level and then I need to sort again. So I need another sorting machine here. We're going to do another sort incoming objects. Right? But that's not going to work because we've got that thing in the way we can't delete. So we're going to go up. There's a little ramp here somewhere. Did I miss it? Yes. So an upward ramp like that. That doesn't look right. It's going to need a closer look. Yeah. It needs to go here. Okay. All right. So this sorter is going to pull out all the ingredients that we need for explosives. So we're going to need to turn again, aren't we? Snap you. There we go. Okay. In this guy here, so what's going to come out of this, right? Let's go through this logically. All the junk, no matter what it is, comes through here. The recycler breaks it down into its component parts. It comes into this sorter. And if this sorter sees any of that stuff is the ingredients to make ammunition, it will reroute that stuff into here and then send everything else along. Okay. So the remaining stuff will come up through here. It'll go into the second sorter. And the second sorter is looking for all the ingredients required to make our explosives. Those ingredients will be routed along this path to the explosives plant, which will be over there. Anything else that is not either for ammo or explosives will just be processed through the recycler and will be kicked out here. So we need a container that all of the extra chaff will go into. So conveyor storage, workshop storage. Okay. So conveyor storage would go here. Let's put another conveyor in between. Okay, perfect. All right. So this is where all the ingredients get deposited that aren't used to create either of those things. But they will already be broken down into stuff that we can use, which will be pretty stinking helpful. Let's put a stairway in here so we can get up there. I like the scaffolding stairways because they come in lots of sizes and they're pretty versatile, like they clip through the environments nicely. So let's just stick it there for now. We'll position it from up here. Okay, you can see it doesn't go all the way down, but if we take one of these guys, it should snap on the bottom, just like that. So it looks like a complete stairway. So then we've got a plant that's got to go here, and that is going to be what? Explosives. Explosives. Oh, explosives mill. Boom. And then we need a place to deposit all the explosives that are created. Okay. All right. Yes, the ammunition and explosives do need storage. So this is storage for explosives, and this is storage for ammunition right here. And then up there is storage for leftover junk. Makes sense? All right. So I think that is pretty good. As far as I can tell, that should work. Now, it would be... What I'd like is I would love it if I could have fit one more plant in here where we could take some of those items that are produced as leftovers and build something that we could sell with them, but there's just not really enough space here. Maybe at some point I could actually punch out a wall and expand it, but right now I'm hoping to just get this running. So now I just want to make it feel like these things are properly supported. I think we're just going to put wooden platforms underneath them, and then I'll put in like support beams and stuff. Okay, we're going to go with these guys. Oh, look at that. It snaps. They actually snap. Okay, let's look at that. Make sure it's not protruding. It is. See, it's protruding through. We can't be having that. Let's try one of those. One of those. Come on there. Snap on. There we go. Ooh. Not feeling super jazzed about how that's laying out. Let's... I'd love it if that sucker would snap on there. But it's not. But there's enough of a lip here I can actually walk on here too. Okay. The one on the other side snapped right away, but this one won't. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to line this one up. I just kind of want to get it roughly in the middle and roughly at the same height as the other ones we did. Okay. And then we'll fill in that like that. So now maybe we'll snap like this. Okay. Whoop, I was in that special spot, the witching spot. You see that? Woo, the witching spot. Now there won't be a lot of reason for us to be there once this is all set up. Okay, there we go. All right. So that kind of hides the base of those. And now we're going to build some support beams to make it look like they're being held up from the floor, I think. So, whoops, here. Beams and columns. Use a really tall one. All right. Now these things, they don't snap to anything. So I'm going to get them roughly the right height. See, I'm putting it right up here until it starts to go through the floorboards there. And then I'm going to come here and straighten it out. Okay. Now it doesn't reach all the way to the floor, but one of the cool things is where it does snap is we should be able to snap a piece to the bottom, which helps to make it look like a contiguous support beam. Listen to me, I said contiguous. Okay. Not all objects will go down through the floor like that without some fussing around. There's different ways that you can make that happen, but see, we've got a beam on this side that was already in the warehouse, so we're matching this one up with it. We've got one here. Might actually look nice if we move this beam over and make it look like it's a partner to this one. So let's do that. I think that would look uniform and sensible. There we go. Okay. We're gonna do here too. Isn't this good times? Isn't this, you guys, isn't this so much better than stories? Yeah. Everything has its place, right? Okay. I feel like those are positioned pretty well, so let's Finish him off. Okay. So that one, I feel like that equipment is all perfectly supported now. That makes sense to me. I mean, we probably could put a couple more here if we wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. We've got beams here. This thing is sort of self-supporting. It all feels like it's pretty good. All right, let's save here. Okay. Now, we're going to put in supports on the other side. This one we're going to have to do differently because the space below is occupied by machinery. But, we've got a beam here that we could use potentially, but it's not positioned very well. So let's put in another one. Okay. Seems pretty close. And, you know, this one is snuggled right up against... Wow, look at that. The spacing is perfect on that. This one will be too. Okay, so there's beam. Then we're going to use one of these guys. Get up there. You know what? Might make more sense here. Let's move this for a second. Let's see if this will snap into place somewhere, and then we can attach the upright beam to it. Sometimes these will snap in, and other times they just suck. Finicky. Okay, that one doesn't want to... Oh, that's a free place. Let's try this one. Okay, this one will snap. The free place ones aren't really designed to snap so much. But we need it to snap in a place where we can put in a support beam. Boom. How about there? Now let's see if this beam will just snap to the bottom of it, and then we'll... This might be a shitty spot. I don't know. But actually, what if we put our beam like alongside it like this? So it looks like it's bolted to it. So if we look at it from the other side, we should be able to tell if it's kind of lined up. Yeah, that's pretty good. It could probably come over just a scotch, but that's all right. All right, so now let's finish it off. There we go. I think that's okay. Not bad. So toxicity. I'm building a factory that breaks down junk into its components. So basically a recycler. A mill for making ammo and a mill for making explosives. Adding the recycler is new, and my other space was not big enough. This space is just big enough for all three plus storage. All right, so there we go. So we got the factory equipment in, the stairways in, the support beams are in. Now it is time for us to start running some power. So first thing I want to figure out is where I want to be able to use a switch to turn this on and off. So we're going to figure out where the switch is going to go. And I'm going to use kind of a old school looking switch here. We'll put everything kind of in the same area here. Okay. And because I want to control the factory equipment independently from whatever is hooked up to this switch, because I don't know what I'm going to install in the future, we're going to wire this all the way. This will be wired to the home terminal. And then, so what do I need to power? All the mills have to have their own power. The vacuum hopper has to have its own power. The storage bins don't need power. Do they? No. But each of the sorters has to have power. Each of the mills has to have power. And then we're also going to have a terminal that we're going to have to hook up so we can program what the mills are making. So we're going to run power underneath these guys. So let's put in... Let us put in junctions. Okay, let's see how far that gets us. Okay, power to there. Okay. So I could put one right on the corner here, maybe. I don't know about this placement. We'll try it. If there's... I mean... I got enough places to suspend wires here that I shouldn't have to wire glitch things to make this work, it seems like. So... Okay, that one works. All right, so we know the power is working. Now the thing is, I can't daisy chain these things together. In other words, I couldn't run power from the mill to the vacuum hopper. I tried that and that doesn't work. I've got to run power independently to the vacuum hopper. And if I'm looking at that, that's kind of a sloppy wire run, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put a terminal on the ceiling in between the two pieces of machinery, and then we'll split from there. So, like, that. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that wire. This one is gonna go to here. And this one is gonna go from here to here. And from here to there. Okay. So who's next? Now, these two guys will do a similar thing. So we'll put one here. Okay, got those. Now we've got a mill up here and a sorter up here that are also going to need power. So I'm thinking we're going to run up to the ceiling, which I can do like this. Okay. And then how about I wonder if I could put one right on this beam. Like, I'd have to get it just perfect. This calls for TCL. Okay. So from here to here. Ah, shit. Okay, that mill is a problem. I gotta get up there and look at it. How bad is this? Oh, God, it's right in that board. Shit. Look at that. Am I going to have to move all of this gear over by like a couple of pixels in order to make that work? Let's try something here. Let's see if we can get it to work. This might be an area where I would be willing to just wire glitch it if we have to. Oh, I can't connect to that because I'm in... Because I'm in non-clipping mode. All right, let's try it this way. You can get at it. Yeah. Aha. No, that can't work because it's passing through the mill. So we're going to try to move that guy over a little bit. Hope you all took your Dramamine before this. TCL is a lifesaver. Can you imagine if you had to build stairways and shit to get at these things? Pain in the ass. What are we going through now? Wow. Okay. Still not totally convinced that I couldn't get this mill to work just how it is. There we go. All right, so that's working. And I didn't need to put in another conductor to do it. All right. So everything, look at that. Look at our power wire snakes right in between those rafters. All right, so let's save this. All right. Okay, now we need to see all conveyors rolling. Rolling, rolling. Rolling. Yeah. Let's also check our junk storage here. Yeah, so everything's working. All right, cool. So now we need to tell our sorters what they're looking for. In order to do that, the sorters want to have a sample of what it is they're looking to sort. So this mill knows that it wants to make ammunition. I know that I want to make 5.56 ammunition. And I know from our test factory that to do that, I need lead and fertilizer. So we're going to go to junk. Do I have any fertilizer? I don't. Let's see if I have lead. Oh, I got lots of lead. So it only needs one sample of each. Now, fertilizer we should be able to get pretty readily. All we got to do is scrap a pile of leaves and we should have fertilizer. So let's see what's going on out here. Is this like the only place in Fallout that won't have a pile of leaves or debris? Okay, let's go into workshop mode and see what we can see. Okay, so we're looking for leaves and debris anything that we can use to produce a little bit of fertilizer. Are you kidding me? That is insane. There's actually a lot of good stuff we could scrap here too. Concrete and other things. See, this is a container that I can actually scrap, but I don't want to because this is part of the path that gets us in via the rooftop entrance. But this is the type of container that was inside the warehouse that I could not scrap, that I had to disable, and why we get the texture glitch I was talking about. That was what that was. There were two of them inside. All right. Come on now. Just a little pile of leaves. That's all I need. Just a little. How about this? Concrete and wood. God, every place else that I've built, there's been like piles of leaves everywhere. Like the Red Rocket. Tons of leaves there. That is annoying. There's other things that might produce fertilizer too, but we have to try some stuff here. I don't want to like get rid of land features like this. A shrub, what does that give us? Fertilizer. Haha. All right, I'll take that. All right, I don't need anything more at the moment. Let's take that shrub. That shrub. Hey, that thing will make fertilizer. All right. That is what we need for ammo. So let's go finish setting up our sorter. So we've given it 1 unit of lead. We're going to give it 1 unit of fertilizer. Blah, blah, blah. Where's my fertilizer? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it's in the workshop. Which is over here. That's right. I forget sometimes when I scrap stuff, it adds it to the workshop's inventory, not my inventory. So here's a bunch of junk. Fertilizer. Let's take it. Actually, let's take all of this stuff. Okay. There we go. Now we should have what we need. Fertilizer. Again, it only needs 1 of them. Okay, cool. All right, now we got to set up our other sorter, which is actually closer to the other side. Oops-a-daisy. Okay, this one is going to make Molotov cocktails, which is a bit more complicated recipe. I got to remember it. So we need cloth. And we need... Oh. We need adhesive, but we don't have adhesive. That's okay. Our recycler is going to produce adhesive for us. So we may run the recycler quick, have it produce some adhesive, and then we can finish this off. So it uses adhesive, cloth, glass, and oil. So we should have glass. Hopefully I have oil. Did I see LMNO? Oil canister. The recycler maybe could extract some oil from that too. So we have to produce adhesive and we have to produce oil. Let's run our recycler and see if we can get it to do that for us. I'm just going to put the 2 items in here that I need. So, adhesive, I'm going to see if I have Wonder Glue. There's Wonder Glue. So we'll put one of those in there. And a used oil can in there. I'm not sure if the oil can is going to get us oil or not. I'm not really sure, but we'll try it. Wonder Glue. Now it goes in here, and it gives us adhesive. I'm going to take one of those, steel, and oil. All right. Awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Now those are going to proceed up. And right now they're going to go into the junk bin. Normally that oil would have been routed over here, but because we haven't programmed this thing to accept oil yet, it didn't know what to do, right? So we're going to put 1 adhesive in there and 1 Earl. Bam. Okay, those are ready to go. Okay, our sorters are sorted. Now, we have to program this bad boy. Because these mills are capable of producing multiple kinds of items, we need to be able to tell them what kind of items we want. So, that is the last step. All right. Come on, workshop mode. Okay. Okay, now this guy needs power too, so I'm going to put in a couple of connectors here just because I don't want the wires draping across the walking paths and stuff. That would just be dumb. So we're going to put one in right there. And then another one here. This is going to go around the corner. Okay. Now it needs power. It's drawing power from this same circuit. Okay. All right, hopper control. We don't really need to do anything with hopper control. We've got some different options here. The output force, we're going to leave at default, but you can actually change this. Basically, what output force means is, like, you can have it actually suck the items in and then blast them out with more force on the other side if you are using things like rollers or you need to launch them into a container or who knows what. I'm trying to think of why that might be. Maybe if you were using rollers or something like that instead of conveyors, but we're not going to worry about that. Ammunition plant. Five, 5, 6. 2 lead, 1 fertilizer. That's what it's going to use to make that. Now, the sorter doesn't care about the number. The sorter only cares about what is the actual ingredient I'm looking for. So we got that. And then the explosive mill, we're going to have it make Molotov cocktails. I would love to have it making mines someday, but I'm just not high enough level to do that, I don't think. I'm assuming that the explosives mill can make mines, but I have to be at a certain level to do that. Okay, we are now ready to go. Everything is set up, supported. Our sorters are ready to go, and our mills are programmed. So now we're going to go dump all of our raw materials into the container. Again, it doesn't matter which one. The hopper can suck things out of all 3 because they're close enough. All right. Now, this is what's really cool about this, right? The recycler is going to be able to take something like this dumbbell and break it down into lead bars, which is what we actually need to make ammo. We can't make ammo just by having dumbbells. We have to convert the dumbbells into lead, into their base lead. And that's what the recycler is going to do for us. It's going to save us this whole step. It's going to take care of that for us. I've also got some raw ingredients here. If we look at this, you can see acid is just acid, right? It is already a raw ingredient, so it doesn't really need to go through the recycler. This, however, this adjustable wrench, when going through the recycler, it will produce 3 bars of steel and 1 gear, right? So that's the difference we're talking about. This aluminum, also, it's already an aluminum bar. It doesn't need to be broken down. So we're going to take anything that is not a base level ingredient. Ball peen hammer produces wood and steel. Ballistic fiber is already a base ingredient. Biometric scanner. These are all the different things that are produced by a biometric scanner when we recycle it. Okay, so let's go through this. A box of, I'm assuming like bone meal. That's a base ingredient. However, all of these bones could be broken down into bone meal. This produces steel. Ceramic. You know what? Screw it. Let's run everything through the process. Let's just do it. Let's run everything through. I mean, the thing's going to be running for a long time, but it's kind of doing all this work for us. So let's just do it. Now, I did experiment with using a specialized hopper to pull this stuff directly out of the workshop, and it didn't really work very well. So I'm holding off doing it that way. That's why I'm putting, taking everything out of separate containers and putting them back into separate containers. Just because my experiments previously didn't work great, and that's why I was telling you I don't think it works particularly well. Okay, I'm going to throw all this stuff in there, but then I'm going to go back through and pull a few things out. Okay, we don't need to process 46 springs. We don't need to process 4,427 bars of steel. We've already got that broken down. So let's not do that. Okay, we don't need to process all of that wood. Okay, there was something else in here. I'm looking for the big numbers. There was something here. Concrete is already processed, so we're going to take that back. There was something else. Okay, this fertilizer can't be broken down further. There was something here that, like, this lead. Yeah, we don't need to process that lead. It's already been done. The plastic's been done. The pre-war money, we're going to process that because that can be turned into cloth, which will help us make our Molotov cocktails. Rubber has been processed. The screws have been processed. Some of the other stuff that's smaller numbers, I don't care about that so much. Okay, so we're loaded. Okay. Okay. Let's take these items that we're making exempt. And we'll store them away. Okay, now we are ready to fire up this bad boy. Okay, question from Ted. If something like lead does not go through the hopper, how do you get it to the sorter? There really is no way to do that. I mean, I could literally just physically deposit the bars of lead right in front of the doohickey. You know, right in front of the mill. I could just literally drop them on the conveyor belt myself. We're going to leave that lead stored here right now just because I think I'm going to produce enough lead with the stuff that's going into the recycler already that I'll be able to make a lot of ammunition. But I could literally just, once everything is processed, because this thing is going to run for a very long time to process all the stuff that we just dumped into it. But it's a really, really good question. So once it's done processing everything that we've put in there, I'll be able to look in the inventory and see, okay, how much ammo did it produce? I can take that ammo back. Then I can just go ahead and run those bars through the system. It isn't going to take much longer for the bars to go through the recycler. If they go through the recycler and they're already lead, basically nothing changes. They just pass through the machine and keep going, and they'll go into the system that way. Right now, what I want to do, though, is I want to take all of those big number things out because I don't want it to be busy trying to process 4,000 bars of steel when it should be working on the things that really need to be processed, right? But eventually, I could feed them through there just for ease, especially when you think about what this factory is designed to do, right? Once it's done going through this stuff, I could literally take all of these things and say, I'm going to make ammunition with this. I could dump it into the containers, start the thing running, lock the building down, and I could come back 3 days later. Everything would be done. I could gather up my ammo and keep going and dump in the next batch of junk I've collected. So that's why I'm leaving it out right now. But eventually, I'll probably just run it through because it doesn't hurt anything to do that, you know. All right. Let's go. Fire it up. All right. See? Now, those dumbbells go in this side, and it's breaking them down into steel. Well, there's still some things in there previously. Yeah, it's still processing all that lead. But eventually we'll see lead start coming out of there. The bigger the object, the longer it takes to kind of break it down too. So, all right, so this stuff is going. Now, most of that stuff is not required in order to make the things that we need to make. You can see here, oil and adhesive, those were from our tests. Every time a sorter sees an ingredient that we need and reroutes that ingredient, you'll hear the sorter make a dinging sound. So right now, the recycler is really just doing all the work and it's pumping it all into storage here. It's pretty awesome, really. That's a problem. Okay, let's see if we can't fix that. Maybe we can, we'll put a little piece of fencing or something there, maybe. Look at that. That's awful. I've never seen it do that before. Well, that's not going to work. All right, let's deal with that. That's crazy. Let's gather all these up. That's a lot of spillage right there. All right, so we actually have to build a physical barrier to stop that from happening. We need to gather up all this stuff, though, first. So we can take some of this fencing and we can push it right up against there. That's crazy. I mean, technically, I could take that. I could just take that whole thing out of the equation, couldn't I? Now that we've got supports for it, let's take it out. Let's take it out, and then we'll recover some space on this balcony over here that we can use for other equipment. All right, so we're going to recycle this. Break that down. That's going to go away. And we're going to take those. Retrieve these later. All right, so we're going to hook this directly up there. See, now this has like a lip on it, an edge that will keep the stuff from falling off. That really surprises me. I wonder why. Because all these other pieces of the conveyor seem like they have edges on them, right? They do. Okay. So, silver. We don't want to be losing silver bars. All right, let's go check it again. There we go. Nice. Okay. So we'll take these silver bars in this adhesive. We'll just store all of that. All right, so we want to be looking for any more trouble spots like that. That would have sucked, right? To like walk away for a week and come back with a huge pile of junk down there. That would have been the worst. What are we making now? Cloth. Okay, we should hear that sucker up there start dinging when the cloth hits it. Because remember, we need cloth for our Molotov cocktails. Hopefully. There it goes. Okay. Now it's producing cloth, which is going into the mill, but the mill can't build anything yet because it doesn't have adhesive yet, and it doesn't have glass, and it doesn't have oil, so it's just going to hold on to all this cloth until it sees it has all the ingredients it needs to start making bombs, and then the bombs will start kicking out the other side. Luke, even if the green conveyors are meant to be on the floor, how does that keep stuff from spilling off onto the floor? That's the part I don't understand. Even if it was sitting on the floor, the stuff would still be rolling off the edge, right? So that seems weird to me. But that's what I'm thinking. We're turning pre-war money into cloth. Okay. So, while that stuff is running, we are now going to set this up. All right. Yes, they don't have the lip, and the reason that's the reason that stuff is rolling off of them. Because they don't have the lip. What I'm saying is, I think we're speaking the same language, maybe? I don't know. But for something to stay on the conveyor belt, whether it's up in the air or down on the ground, it has to have an edge on either side to keep stuff from spilling off the edge. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying there isn't a specific purpose for that. There must be. But I don't know what it is. Okay, cooking pot. Okay. So, we're going to be doing a lot of work here. So, let's actually put in some crafting stations. Obviously, it makes sense for us to do our crafting where our ingredients are. So, okay. An armor workbench. Weapons. That may not be a good spot for that. Can use that bench to hide our wire there a little bit, maybe, huh? Okay. Okay. Explosives. I got to test these to see if they're all going to work in these positions. They may not. We can put this one at sort of an angle here, I think. Or maybe not. You know how these are, right? Like if you try to use them and you position them in a way where there's an object that interrupts the animation, they just won't work. This might be a better spot for this big old bulky station. Okay. The small one next to it. Boy, it is processing the hell out of cloth right now. Because all that pre-war money, Billy saves all the pre-war money he finds for some reason. He's still got a subconscious attachment to a 200-year-old form of currency. Okay. I just noticed the sign on the explosive station, please stop smoking. I do? No, I think I got it the right way, you guys. No, it goes the other way. Shit. Now I gotta climb back in there. It's okay. Incidentally, that is a really clever way, though. If you want to get inside of a building that you're not supposed to go inside, you can set up a crafting workbench in next to the building backwards, engage with the workbench. The animation will flip you around, and then when you exit the workbench, you'll be inside that space, which is kind of funky and interesting. So, there. I mean, that's most of the stuff that I would need. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in an armor station here because we have this piece of armor here. Kurotab has a nice one. Okay, so we're going to do this guy right here. Okay, that's great. Now my plan is I'm going to take this piece of armor that we found and I am going to set up this armor with as many modifications as I can for carry capacity. And this is going to be the scrapping armor. This is going to be the armor that we wear when we're going to like collect materials so that we can carry loads and loads of things. That's the plan with that. So this is going to be like, what do we got now? Antiseptic. Cloth. Ghoul blood. Oh, it's just bottling it up nice. Oh no. What? How's it coming out the other side? What does ghoul blood turn into? Fertilizer? Springs. Ghoul hearts. I know ghoul hearts and stuff like that are fertilizer, but I don't know. What's that? I'm geeking out big time over this thing. I love this stuff. I don't know why. Ooh, what's happening? There's dings. Oh, yeah. It's our fertilizer. So it's just waiting for lead at this point. Did you see that? A huge fire extinguisher just went into the recycler. Oh man, we are going to have so much steel. Now the next thing is, what I would like to do is I would like to build another plant that takes the steel and makes Vault-Tec lunch boxes out of the steel that we can sell. Because Vault-Tec lunch boxes you can sell, I don't know what it is. It's like 8 or 10 times more value than the materials that go into them. Oh, fiber optics. Wow. Neat. So maybe set up a Vault-Tec lunchbox production line. That could be pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Ted. I mean, all of this looks dangerous to me. Hazards galore, I think. All right. Let's see if we can work on this armor at all. So what I'd be looking for is, now strength is going to increase carry capacity. So I think on this one, we would probably want motion assist servos. Motion assist servos. What about the legs? I think the legs would be like the more important part, right? Increase carry weight. Calibrated shocks. All right, calibrated shocks. I'm assuming we do calibrated shocks. Yeah, so if we do calibrated shocks on both legs, that's science of 2. I should be able to actually do that now. Adhesive, aluminum, and fiberglass. I just need the stuff. Adhesive, aluminum, and fiberglass. So let's check it out. What are we making? Oh, asbestos, fun. Okay. Not enough. Not enough yet. Yeah, we just need to let this sucker run, man. I may have aluminum on the other side, but I'm guessing I don't have any fiberglass. I'm not even sure what makes fiberglass. I'd have to look that up. No, I don't have any aluminum either. So my guess is our factory is going to produce some aluminum for us. All right, so we know that the left and right legs are going to be huge. The torso can also help with strength. What about the arms? Do we have mods for the arms? Not really. It's going to be the same, right? Yeah. So the arms aren't really going to help us with carry capacity. Internal database increases intelligence. VATS matrix. Rad scrubbers. Increased perception. Yeah. So the torso, the right and left legs, those are the things that are going to help us with that carry capacity. So that's what we'll work on that armor first. And then we'll do some kind of a badass paint job on it. And that will be our scrapping armor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I've got for today. It was just a quickie building session. Very pleased with how it's turning out. So at this point, it's just going to be processing a whole bunch of trash. And then we're going to come back tomorrow for another live stream. We're going to continue this story, and we'll be able to take a look at what this thing produced. And hopefully by then, I will have lots of raw materials to upgrade this armor and do some other cool stuff. So thank you all for hanging out with me for the last hour and a half. Appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow.